major.
Zygomaticus major. Say it. Okay. If you don't pronounce it right, it's likely that you won't spell it right. What is this one right here?
Zygomaticus minor.
Zygomaticus minor. Zygomaticus major and minor. Okay?
That's where they got this.
All right. Is that all the phase?
Same exactly.
We got the mentalis, right? I think we got all the face. Now, you do need to be able to label both of those face figures that I had on Moodle for you. Have you looked at those? Okay. I can use one of those. I don't know which one I'm going to use, but you need to be able to label both of them. Can you label the little muscle girl with most of those? Okay. Can you label the torso model? Have you looked at the torso model? There are 2 stations with the torso model. So anything that you recognize as a muscle on the muscle girl that you see on him, you are responsible for knowing that. Okay? All right. I think we're able to move down from the face. Let's talk about this muscle right here. It's attached to the sternum. It's attached to the mastoid process. What is that muscle called? Sternocleidomastoid. Sterno for this, cleido for crossing the clavicle, and mastoid because of the mastoid process. Say it again. Sternocleidomastoid. Okay. If you can say it, you can spell it. All right. We'll come back to the neck region in just a minute and the arm. Let's go down the anterior of the trunk. Okay? Remember, you have to give me the whole name. What is this region right here? What are these muscles?
Your pectoralis major.
Pectoralis major. And we had 3 numbers, right? So anywhere on the chest here is pectoralis major. What are these muscles right here?
Is that your internal?
It's external, isn't it? It's external. This is your rectus abdominis. What does rectus mean? Straight. Rectus abdominis. So where your 6-pack here, that's rectus abdominis. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And that is on the outside.
Right.
But external is not part of the name. It's rectus abdominis. It's talking about it being straight up and down. Okay, what are these muscles right here? External obliques. They're on the outside and they are at an angle, aren't they? Now, up here where these obliques meet the muscles under here, they look like they're kind of woven together. What are these muscles right up in here called? Serratus anterior. Say it.
Serratus anterior.
Serratus anterior. It looks like a serrated blade, right? Serratus anterior. Okay? And I think that's all the front, isn't it? Externally, let's take the front of her off and look at the inside before we leave there. Okay? On the inside, I think we have 3 muscles we're supposed to identify. Now, the one that is in fact numbered is between the ribs here, and it's on the inside, so what do we call them?
Internal.
Internal intercostal.
Oh.
Internal inter, that means between the ribs, doesn't it? Internal intercostal, or coastal, however you want to pronounce it. Pronounce it so that you can spell it. Okay, and then we had some oblique muscles on the inside. Those were the
Internal oblique.
internal obliques. Can you see them?
I'm looking.
Like right here. Do you see these angled right
You
here?
may just be using that one little piece for a. Okay.
And then we have some that are going transverse. What does that mean? Across. So right here between the internal obliques, you have some transverse abdominis. And then some of these right here, a little bit lower, are also transverse. So if they're going across, you know they're transverse abdominis. Okay? Are y'all all right with that? Okay. Okay, so let's turn our little muscle girl around so we can see her back. All right. Now there aren't as many muscles on the back side. There's 2 major muscles and then 3 that are in a little small area that we're gonna identify. The top muscle starts right here at the base of your skull, goes across the shoulders and comes down the middle of the back, right here. What is that called? The trapezius. Say it.
Trapezius.
Trapezius. Okay. Anywhere on there is the trapezius. So it could be the neck region, it could be on the shoulder, or right down the middle of the back.
deltoid, so it's just these three?
Yes.
Okay,
Here, here, and right down the middle.
okay.
Okay. Below that, we have some really big muscles that go across the back here. What are those called?
Latissimus dorsi.
Latissimus dorsi. Say it.
Latissimus dorsi.
Okay. So they're going laterally, aren't they, on the back? All right. Now, those are the two major muscles on the back. What we need to look at right now are the muscles that are right here. And on all of these little regions where you have multiple muscles in the same location, you need to learn them from top to bottom and do that with all of them. Okay? So let's look right here. We have three muscles, don't we? The top one there that is numbered is what? Infraspinatus. What does that mean?
It's not on this one.
In between?
Where is it on here?
It's not inter, it's infra.
It's
What does
right-
infra mean?
Is it right here?
It's below
It's right here.
what?
No, it's
What is
92.
spinatus talking
Is
about?
it 92?
The spine of your scapula.
Is this
Isn't your
it?
scapula up
90.
here?
Oh, it's 90.
So it's below the spine of the
No,
scapula.
so it's right, is it right here?
It's number 90.
Right there, it's number here?
It's this one.
Okay.
Number 90?
Yes.
90. That's your infraspinatus, okay? The next one down that looks like it's coming over into the arm here, okay, that is called your teres
Major.
minor. Minor.
This is the major, this is the minor. The minor's below.
No.
No, the minor's
minor is
above.
above. The minor is above.
Okay.
Check your numbers. Look at your key. In the minor above? Okay. So infraspinatus, teres minor, and then the bottom one is the teres major. Okay? Learn them from top to bottom. Oh, you just turned the fuse hood on. Okay, now I want to show you this on the torso model because it looks different.
Oh.
Okay? But you can see them on the torso
How are you
model.
recording? How do I record?
Pull up your
Okay, on the
video
torso
camera.
model, there's 1, 2, 3. So what's this one? Spinatus. Infraspinatus. This little one here is the. Okay, it looks smaller, doesn't it? Okay, so that's gonna help. Now this one right here is the teres major. Okay, so what's this? What is this? Yeah. So anything that we identified on this that you can see on here, I can ask you about. Okay? Do I have facial muscles on here? I do. So I didn't label this. I don't know who labeled it. I pulled 2 labels off of it yesterday because they were not correct. So if you've taken pictures of this, don't assume that they're labeled correctly. And we are not doing those arms and legs. Okay? All right. So we got this little chunk right here. We're going to chunk quite a bit of stuff just so that you can learn a method for recalling it. So top to bottom. Know them from top to bottom. All right? Let's go back up to the neck region. Let's go to this region right here. So look at this on your model. We're going to identify the muscles from top to bottom. And we have 4 of them. There are 4 muscles that we need to identify. Now, between the sternocleidomastoid and the trapezius, there's a little wedge-shaped area there, and there are 4 muscles. The very top one there, can anybody tell me what it's called?
The levitator.
It's splenius capitis. Splenius capitis, and if you'll remember, it meant adhering to the head. Think about cap, you put a cap on your head. That's one way to help you remember. Splenius capitis. Got it? The next one down is levator scapula. Say it. Levator scapula. What does it do to your scapula? It elevates it. Levator. It elevates your scapula, okay? The third one down, does anybody know what that one is? Scalenus medius, yes it is, scalenus medius, okay? And then we skip a little muscle that's going across, and then right down here by your collarbone is scalenus what? Anterior. So there are 5 muscles over here, but you skip the one that's between the 2 scalenus muscles, okay? Now the number for scalenus anterior is on the other side, isn't it? So we had 3 numbers here, 1 number here, but you know you have all of them on both sides, okay? Top to bottom. Capitis will help you remember splenius capitis for the first one. Then it elevates the scapula. Now, I don't know what scalenus means. So we had a scalenus medius and then a scalenus anterior. Okay. Are y'all okay with this? Got them in order? Did I draw this on the board? No? Okay. Do you have a picture of it though, so that you can label it so you know what's top to bottom? All right. Now we're going to go to the arm. Now when you go to the arm, we're going to assume anatomical position. All right. This big muscle on the top of the shoulder, what is that called? Deltoid. And that means it's triangular shape, right? So it's wide up here and goes to a point in the brachial region. Okay? Now, in the arm, this is the forearm, this is the arm. In the arm, we have 3 muscles that are entirely on the brachial region. This one on the front, what is that one called? Biceps brachii. You have to have both names. Biceps brachii. What is the muscle on the back side? Triceps brachii. And then we have one on the lateral surface that's between them. What is it? Brachialis. So make sure you can identify those 3 muscles. Biceps brachii. Brachialis on the side. Triceps brachii on the back. Are we good? We good? Okay. Now, the hard part is the forearm. Are y'all freaking out over the forearm? Okay. We're going to break it up into 2 chunks. And we're going to have a landmark that actually separates the 2 chunks. Okay? All right. If you know your landmark, you can figure out which side is anterior, which side is posterior. Now, didn't we say these were flexors? The back side is extensors. On the back side, every muscle has extensor as part of its name. So remember that. Okay. Our landmark muscle is going to be this muscle that attaches right here and wraps around the forearm and attaches to the radius. So what's it called? Brachioradialis. Isn't it right here on the lateral surface? Brachioradialis. That is our landmark that separates my flexors from my extensors. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to work from the brachioradialis around the back of the arm in order. That brachioradialis and the next 2 look like all one big muscle, don't they? Brachioradialis is here, and then we have 2 extensors over here. So immediately posterior to the brachioradialis, you have the extensor carpi radialis longus. Okay. Here's your brachioradialis right here. Okay? The next one right there is your first extensor muscle. And then that one is your second extensor muscle. So be looking on the side of the arm. You should be able to see that there are 3 muscles there. So, brachioradialis, find it. What's the number? 42. What's the next one over? 43. Okay. Is that not on your key as extensor carpi radialis longus? Okay, what does extensor mean? It's extending it. What does it mean, carpi? At the wrist, along the radius, and it's the long one. Okay, so if you know what the name means, it's gonna be easier to remember. Isn't the radius right here? Yeah, okay. The next one is your extensor carpi radialis brevis. Okay, find it. What number is it? Okay, so we started with 42, 43, 44, okay? I don't want you to know it by the numbers, I just want you to be able to figure out that that is in fact that particular extensor muscle, okay? Now we're getting away from the radius, aren't we? We're in the middle of the back of the arm. Do you see one that goes down to your fingers? I believe that one is simply called extensor digitorum. So it's in the middle back here, and you can see it goes to the tendons. Do you see extensor digitorum? Okay.
It says it's 50, it's right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got multiple branches to it, doesn't it? But up there at the base, it's one broad muscle. So
Yeah, it doesn't branch out till the
you basically have
wrist.
to identify it up here. Okay, then the next one is your last extensor, and it's down here close to the ulna, isn't it? So it's extensor carpi ulnaris. Okay, extensor carpi
that was 49.
ulnaris. So remember the ulna is lined with your
What
pinky.
number was that?
What number was that? 49?
Okay.
It may be skipping some. I
49
don't,
is it shows that it's the flexor carpi ulnaris, and then 52 shows it's
Okay.
flexor carpi ulnaris.
Yeah. Which is which?
Yeah. 'Cause that's what we have up there.
52 is your last extensor.
So 52 was your ulnaris?
Yes, 52 is your ulnaris.
And then 49 is the flexor carpi ulnaris?
Uh-huh. Okay, we're gonna talk about that in just a minute.
Well, I'm just making sure it's right.
Yes. 52, look on your key, is 52 your extensor carpi ulnaris?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so basically the elbow, see the point of the elbow here? That separates your extensors from your flexors, okay? So just remember, everything on the back of the arm is an extensor. And you can look at the elbow as a landmark too. All right. Now, what we're gonna look at now are your flexors. So what's my landmark?
Your elbow. Oh, for,
The brachioradialis.
Okay.
Again, find your brachioradialis, and we're gonna go medial. Okay, so right here in the bend of the elbow, you have a little bitty short muscle. What is that called? Pronator teres. What does it do? It prones your arm, doesn't it? So it has something to do with the radius, I'm sure. I'm sure it rotates that radius. Pronator teres. Okay, then we have a muscle that's running down the radial length. So that's going to be your flexor carpi radialis. Okay? Flexor carpi radialis. If you need to check the number, do so. Can you find it?
Oh, it says 49, but I think it's 46.
Flexor carpi radialis. Okay, we're going to keep moving around towards the elbow. The next one is your palmaris longus. Do you see that? And it stops right here, doesn't it? It stops right here. Can y'all find it? What's the number?
47?
Okay, does everybody agree? Okay, then the next one is your no, wait a minute. Flexor digitorum superficialis. Okay. It's a flexor. Flexor digitorum superficialis. Okay. And then you only have one more. What is it? Flexor carpi ulnaris. Okay, I'm getting hot. Does that get you around the elbow? Are we okay with the arm, the forearm? Okay, let's redo the back side of the forearm. What's your landmark? Brachio-radialis. What's the next one? Longus. Yes. The next one is extensor carpi radialis brevis. What does that mean? Short. Brief, short. Okay. The one right in the middle is your one that goes to your fingers. It's extensor
Or digitorum.
digitorum. The last one is your
Extensor carpi ulnaris.
ulnaris, because it's talking about the ulna, right? Okay, let's go back to the front. We're going to do the front again. What's the little short one here? Pronator teres. Then the next one is running along the radius. So what is that?
Flexor carpi.
Carpi radialis. Then the next one is the one that goes to the palm. Palmaris longus. It does not have flexor as part of its name, does it? Palmaris longus. And then the next one is a flexor. Flexor to the
Carpi.
fingers. Digitorum
Oh,
superficialis. Say it. Flexor digitorum superficialis. Means it's superficial, right? All right, what's the one right here on the bottom? Flexor carpi ulnaris. If you'll learn it this way on the back, this way on the front, it's so much easier to deal with. Try to chunk it in a way that makes sense. Find you a landmark that you can refer to each time. Now, we know the brachioradialis is a landmark here, but the elbow is a landmark on the back side, right? So, you should know if it's on the posterior side, it's going to be called an extensor. If it's on the anterior side, it may be called a flexor. You've got palmaris longus that does not have
Well, and all
flexor.
the U's go on this side too, right? Because it's underneath, or no? Do you know what I'm saying?
Ulnaris is in line with the ulna.
Right.
Radialis is
Right.
in line with the radius. I mean, if you want to think of it as being underneath, that's
Right.
fine. I think of it as being associated with the bone. Okay? All right. Are we okay on the arm? Do you think that sounds a little easier? Is it going to be easier to get it together? Okay. All right. We're through all the way down to here. What's this? Gluteus maximus. Have y'all been tagging your kids or your husband or whatever?
Yes.
Kid won't stay so long
Nisha,
enough.
have you been tagging your husband? Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on down to the thigh region, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to identify two landmarks again that can separate the anterior from the posterior. Did he appreciate you tagging him? All right, what's this one right here on the side? Okay, it has lateral in the name, doesn't it? If you look at that muscle, what does it look like it is? It's a lot of tendon, isn't it? So I use that to help me remember the first word. Tensor fascia latae. Okay? So that's my lateral landmark. What's my medial landmark gonna be? No, all the way medial. What is medial? Right here on the inside? No. What goes from the crotch region down to your knee?
gracilis.
Gracilis. Everybody say gracilis. Gracilis. All right, that's the middle of the inside of the leg, right? That's the most medial muscle. Okay, my tensor fascia latae is the most lateral muscle. Is everything in front of those two anterior? And everything behind is posterior, right? Okay, let's start with our anterior thigh. And there are three major muscles on the anterior surface of your thigh. What is the one that goes straight up and down the middle? Rectus femoris. It is straight up and down. If you have an old lab manual, rectus femoris is not on it for some reason. So make sure you have it. Then we have two really big muscles on either side of the rectus femoris. What is the word in their name that means really, really big? Vastus. So the one on the outside is going to be what? Vastus lateralis. Say it.
Vastus lateralis.
And the one on the inside is going to be vastus medialis. Okay, so those are the three major muscles on the anterior side of your thigh. This medial portion right here, we're going to talk about later. Okay, I'm getting the big ones on the front, and now we're going to get the big ones on the back. All right? If you look at the back of the thigh, can you tell it's basically two compartments that kind of split above the knee? Okay, we're going to deal with the lateral compartment and then the medial compartment. Okay? What is the one muscle that we see here in the lateral? We're not using that word. What is the big muscle right here?
This starts with the S.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
What's this one right here? Biceps femoris. This was rectus femoris. This is your biceps femoris. That's the big muscle on the lateral compartment. Remember I told you we're going to have a lateral and a medial compartment? Biceps femoris is the outside. The medial compartment is made up of primarily two muscles that are layered. They're laying on top of each other. Can you tell that they're laying on top of each other?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The one that is superficial is the semitendinosus. Okay? So it's here. Underneath it is the semimembranosus. Okay? Is it easier to see the semimembranosus lower on the leg? Down there where it's joining at the knee? I think it is. Okay, I feel like I've lost y'all. Okay, what is the big muscle in the lateral compartment? What?
No. It's the
Biceps femoris is on the lateral compartment.
No.
Lateral compartment.
Jeannie, I'm sorry if I need to move back. There, fine.
Medial compartment, you have two muscles. The superficial one is the semitendinosus, and then underneath it is the semimembranosus. Okay, are y'all all right
So
with
we're
this?
on 73 and 74.
All right, we just did this outer muscle.
Or is that 74, 75? I don't think that sheet's right. I don't think that sheet.
We did the outer muscle.
Which was the semi.
This is
What
your
do you have written
biceps
down?
femoris.
Oh, wait, where are we? Okay, I'm right.
Biceps femoris.
And then 74 was your semitendinosus.
That's the one that's laying on the surface, and the one
Okay.
underneath it is the semimembranosus. Okay. Now, we do need to continue on around. We're going from the side around the back, aren't we? Okay. So if you continue on around, between the semimembranosus and the gracilis, we have one more muscle. Can you tell what it is? It's the adductor magnus. What does that mean? Adductor means it
Away.
pulls it to.
Oh, to
Adductor.
Okay, right.
It pulls it to, and it's big. Okay?
Okay.
Adductor magnus. Can y'all find it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this little wedge-shaped area. This is another little chunk that you need to learn from top to bottom. Okay? All right, what's this muscle that starts right here and goes all the way down to the medial surface of your knee? Sartorius. Say it. Sartorius. And it means tailor. Remember, did we talk about that?
Yeah, you said something.
Inseams. I think of measuring inseams there. Okay. Now, between the sartorius and the gracilis, do you see that little wedge-shaped area there? We have three muscles.
Is it your
Okay?
pectineus?
That's the second one. The
Okay.
top one, the very top one up here, right up here in the wedge, where the wedge starts up here with your sartorius. That is your iliopsoas. Now,
that's
that's
not on
not
here.
how it's spelled, is it? It is spelled Iliopsoas. Iliopsoas.
And how do you pronounce it?
Iliosoa. The P is silent, and I think the last S is silent. And there's only one L. It is misspelled in your lab manual. Iliosoa. But to spell it, you may want to say Iliopsoas. Iliopsoas. So say it that way. Iliopsoas.
I'm just gonna take the P and the S and just kind of mark them out. That's how you pronounce it.
That's how you pronounce it.
Right.
But to spell it,
Well, I
you need
know
to
how you
leave those
spell it.
in.
Right.
Okay. Then the next muscle is in fact the pectineus. Are y'all okay with the pectineus? It means comb, but I don't know why they call it that. It doesn't look like a comb to me. And then the one that's right down here next to the gracilis, what is that
Is
one?
that your adductor longus?
That's your adductor longus. Adductor longus.
Because it brings it towards.
So you have an adductor magnus on the back
Right.
and an adductor longus on the front, but they're both medial, aren't they? So they would adduct. If they shorten, they will pull the leg back into place. What do you think the tensor fascia lata does? I suspect it's an abductor.
Yeah, it's like on the hip. Is it like somewhere
It's
around
right here. I suspect it's an abductor, and then those two would pull it back into the midline region. Okay. All we have left, I think, is the lower leg. Okay, so let's look at the anterior surface of the lower leg. Now, there's only one anterior muscle, and it's this one right here that's lateral to the tibia. Lateral to the
Tibialis
tibia.
anterior.
Yes, it's right here on the front of your leg, but it's lateral to the tibia. This crest on your tibia, that shin bone, what we think of as that shin bone, it's to the outside surface of that. And then on the medial surface, it's just basically bone. You don't have any muscles covering that bone on this medial surface. Okay? Now, if you move on around to the lateral surface, we have two muscles that come down and wrap around the back of the ankle. Now, these are running down the length of the fibula, and another word for fibula is peroneus. And you can call it either way. You can say peroneus muscles or fibularis muscles. I don't care. But they're listed as peroneus. Immediately behind the ankle here, you have a little short muscle on the lateral surface that's called the peroneus brevis. It's that little tiny short one that just wraps around the back of the ankle. And then a little bit more posterior to that, you have your peroneus longus, and it starts up here close to